Are you living the lifestyle you dream of? Especially as an entrepreneur, a business owner, or even a digital nomad?
Look, we know money doesn't buy dreams, but losing money doesn't help, especially with costs surging due to inflation.
Yeah, and even with all of that, as a business owner, I had the gnawing feeling that I was leaving money on the table.
Yeah, you see, most entrepreneurs base their pricing on their costs and what the competition is doing.
And that's a big reason that they aren't funding the lifestyle that they really want. I'm the risk taker, Garrett Takach, and he is the expert, George Black. And together, we show entrepreneurs how to build great companies and live truly free.
Are you saying I'm not a risk taker?
Moving on, I owned an obstacle fitness gym for 6 years called Ninja Park. And as an entrepreneur, I dreamed of having flexible time, on having money to do things that I wanted to do, and about spreading good through my world through the impact that my business is able to make. But honestly, that just wasn't happening. And I knew that I needed some help.
I first met Garrett through his cousin, and that's when he asked me to help guide him.
Well, actually, George, I first met you through your book.
Oh, right. Yeah, because you had done the strategic process in the book, and then you won that pitching contest with it.
Right. So I knew that George had helped lead a bunch of companies, and he was just really, really awesome with business analytics and all of that kind of stuff. And my numbers sucked. But the thing is, I didn't really know what my numbers meant. I didn't really know what they were telling me, because my love and passion is for fitness and helping people with their health and fitness, not for spreadsheets.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Garrett thought he had to know or become an expert in spreadsheets, QuickBooks, to be able to really lead with his analytics, and that's just not true.
Yeah, and that's not even where George started. I mean, I was surprised, but he focused on the true value that Ninja Park offered.
It was kind of like, Garrett and frankly others that I've worked with, they think this is the way we need to go. It's kind of like the patient telling the doctor how to heal them. I had already diagnosed the problem immediately, and he had a pricing problem that we needed to dig into. But first, we had to get clear about the true identity of Ninja Park, because I knew the answer was going to be in that.
Well, and that really was amazing, because that unlocked everything. By focusing on value, we began to transform our pricing, we transformed our operations, and we transformed everything so much, actually, that I actually got an offer.
Wait. Hold on. Let's back up, slow it down, and let's unpack what we did first. So,
Okay.
I first met Garrett via Zoom, and his membership pricing looked like every gym out there. And then eventually I traveled and I got to go see Ninja Park in person. And it was not like any other gym I had ever been to.
Yeah, I mean, I had been a fitness trainer at a really big gym, and I knew that they had made money, so I studied the competition, I studied all the other gyms in town, and I honestly just modeled our pricing after theirs, because I figured that if the competition charges $85, then I should charge $80. So if the competition raises their prices due to something like inflation, then we could raise our prices too.
So how'd that work out for you, Garrett?
I could never get ahead. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, it comes down to what you are truly selling. It's not the inflation rate or what the competitors are doing.
Oh, it's like your ab example.
Yeah, exactly. Let me tell you about the ab example. So, are people buying the ab machine, or are they buying the abs? The marketing guys have figured this out. Just look at this picture, okay? You barely see the ab coaster, and it's right in front of the guy with the 6-pack, right? Or 8-pack or 12-pack, whatever that thing is he's got.
That guy is packed.
Yeah.
I bet that guy didn't get that shredded on the ab coaster.
Well, of
I
course
mean,
he
come on
didn't.
now.
Of course, we know that. We know that. But see, here's the point. Here's the point of the example: is the machine is the process, and the abs are the results. It's a great look. Everybody wants that great look. They're not buying the process, and that's not what they're selling. Look, I don't want to hear or think about all the work I'm going to have to do doing all those crunches, eating a certain way, hoping my genetics are predisposed to a six-pack.
Yeah. Well, that ab example helped me so much because it helped me to start focusing on the true value. Because what I was doing was focusing on selling my process, which was my gym memberships.
Yeah, I am so guilty of this. Focusing on the ab machine, like, for example, at Live Truly Free, we've got all these processes. Garrett followed the one in the book, all that sort of thing, and they're fabulous. I want to tell you all about the processes, blah, 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 blah. You don't want to hear that. What you want to know is, what are the results, George? What are the abs I'm going to get? And I'm the same way. So if you don't believe me, I want you to look at this WonderCore ad. It's clearly selling the process. In fact, you can barely see the machine. And we won't leave this up too long.
That's hard to look at.
Yeah, it is hard to look at. Yeah. Now let's compare it to the ab coaster picture. Now, which one are you going to buy? Side by side comparison. Told you, the abs.
Yeah.
We're buying.
I bet that ab coaster guy uses the WonderCore religiously to get packed like that.
Yeah, that would be absolutely hilarious. But we're all buying ab coasters, right? Okay. And by the way, we have no affiliate link for ab coaster here. So the point is, you have to know the real value you are creating. Okay? If you're selling the process, the ab machine, things like inflation, competitor and pricing and all that stuff, it's going to eat your lunch. So you need to ask yourself, what are your abs? What are the abs I'm actually selling? What are the results? What are the results that you're promoting? Start there.
Yeah, and to figure out our abs, I had to get back to the Ninja Park true identity. So George actually guided me back to my childhood dreams, my childhood passions. Because as a kid, I loved to like jump off the roof onto the trampoline, learn flips and stuff like that, climb up on things, swing from things. I just loved doing that kind of stuff, and I always loved fitness. And I actually ended up competing on American Ninja Warrior as well.
Yeah, as a fitness trainer, Garrett knew for most of us, going to the gym was hard work, not fun.
Yeah, so I came up with a way to use American Ninja Warrior obstacles and combine it with fitness and with training principles to make it less chore-like, more game-like, and most importantly, more fun.
Can you hear how unique that was? And that's what I saw when I walked into his gym. And all these things are going on. And I realized it was possible. What they were doing was amazing. It was possible for anyone at any level of fitness to conquer the obstacle. So, the famous warped wall. It's 14 feet. Most people can't get up the 14-foot wall. But he made it possible where you could get up 5 feet and then get to 6 and do more.
Yeah, exactly. All about those progressions. Plus, we had an amazing team of trainers. We had 5-star ratings, and members overall just really love Ninja Park.
And here's the key. There was nothing like Garrett's gym. So the model was not the same. His model was not the same as the competitors, but his pricing was the same or even lower. So here's the key. Large gyms have more than twice the number of members paying than they actually have coming in grinding out those workouts we all hate.
Exactly, and it turns out that I had a much higher usage rate. It was like over 80% of members came to the gym very, very regularly because they love coming into Ninja Park, which was awesome. I mean, that's what I wanted. That was the impact that I wanted to have, but that was a big reason that I just couldn't get ahead and live that lifestyle that I really wanted as an entrepreneur.
Follow me on this dynamic. Here's what's going on. Garrett was pricing to the competition, and to keep ahead of costs and inflation, he had to sell more. Okay? But he had a 2 to 3x higher usage rate than the large gym. So as he sold more, his costs kept rising to provide the same level of high service to his additional members. Now, just throw a little inflation on that, or actually a lot of inflation on that, and you'll never get ahead, and neither did Garrett.
So really, I had two choices. I could take on the big gym model, which pretty much meant I would take the fun out of fitness so I could keep prices low, and then half of my members would keep paying but not come all that often, which I couldn't do that. That wasn't going to happen. Or I could change everything based on our true value. So I chose to stop selling the ab machines and to start selling the abs. And I surveyed members. I talked to members about the real value that they were getting so I can understand that. But that was so hard to do because it was so vulnerable. I mean, I was pretty much asking them, how am I doing? You know, what's it like to experience me? And that was just so hard. It was so scary. Their response was scary. I mean, I just dreaded getting a negative response. So it was just so hard.
But this is where the breakthrough really began. So when you survey, and Garrett was doing this in person. It wasn't like an impersonal form people filled out because he wanted to gauge their true reactions of the members right there. And when you survey, it's like asking a close relationship what it's like to experience me. And I remember the first time I asked my sons, I think they were like preteen, right around that age, where they're going to tell you whatever they're thinking. And it was like I had been challenged with this question: what's it like to experience me? And it was like so scary. I mean, it's like, scared about what? I mean, but I don't know. I mean, it was just like there's rejection. They're thinking this stuff anyhow, so it's not like it's just I'm going to hear it for the first time. They were very honest, and they said they started talking about like, well, a controlling behavior and things like that, and they really didn't like that. And by the way, I didn't do them together. I did them separately. I couldn't handle them teaming up on me. So, but it was huge for me because what I discovered was actually I was really treating them like they were, half their age. And I needed to, and so I made a huge adjustment. I started treating them as at the age they are, not the age they were. Wow. And I was always a few steps behind them, but I got much better at it. And asking that kind of question of your kids, super scary, of your spouse or, significant other or whoever, huge question. Your customers, your clients, big question, but I think you'll get fabulous answers.
Yeah, it is absolutely terrifying, but that is where huge breakthrough can happen because when I started talking to my members, I found out what the members were actually buying, which was absolutely huge and led to huge breakthrough for me. I mean, I found out that they had huge value in just coming for the community, for the people that were there at the gym, that there was huge value in coming for the trainers who were giving them personal attention, huge value in coming for the fun that they had, that they looked forward to their workout throughout the day and they didn't dread it like before. And there was huge value in that for them. I found out that there was huge value that they were just getting fit, achieving their fitness goals for the first time in their lives. And that was just amazing for them. And that was the impact that I wanted to have. And they were more confident as they were beating challenges. And the magic was really in that real close-knit personal attention from the trainers.
So the objective became to grow profits, even if that meant having less members. And most importantly, having fun doing the business. And look, I'm going to be honest with you. Making profits helps your work be more fun. I mean, it's not fun to lose money. Think of it that way. So what we started doing was disconnect things like costs inflation, and competition from the pricing and basing it on the value of the services that the members really treasure.
Yeah, so I developed the Ninja Park value story and created all new levels of membership that looked completely different from my old memberships. And it really differentiated us from the competition in every way.
Yeah, we took time with this and we planned it out. So we didn't want to just rush into this because there was two things that had to happen. One, the pricing had to be a good and true value, both for the business but also for the members. And we didn't want it tied to cost or inflation or competition. It doesn't mean you don't look at your costs because the operations had to be restructured. See, what we discovered, and Garrett discovered this in the surveys, was there were services being provided that the members did not value. We're like, well, then stop doing them. So we stopped doing some things and we emphasized things they liked more. And so things were cut and costs were adjusted.
Yeah, and I kept surveying members, and I had old members tell me that they liked the value story, and new memberships thought it was a great value. And I actually had a few people tell me that they wondered why I hadn't charged more before. And prospects liked the value story, and we were adding new members.
Yeah, so all the trends were positive. And now the shift of the company, the overall shift in the company was, it was becoming a more valuable company. And the thing here is that people will pay for value when they understand it, and it's the kind of value they want. And we did both of those things. So you have to be able to tell your value story very well.
And we got to that point, and then events beyond our control in March of 2020 happened, and we just began to lose momentum. Shutdowns started happening due to the pandemic, and at that same time, I received an offer to buy my company that I just couldn't refuse. So I ended up selling my company around that time.
Yeah, and honestly, it never occurred to either of us that by telling the value story, changing the memberships, selling value would actually create a buyout.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. And it turns out that the shutdowns lasted much longer than I think any of us thought that they would have. And I don't know, honestly, that we could have survived for as long as the shutdowns happened. And in fact, other gyms never reopened.
Yeah, so you never know what will happen when you start talking about the true value you're providing.
Speaking of value, George, which ab
Yes.
machine would you buy?
Oh, neither. I just go do lipo instead.
You would spend 5 to 10 times more.
Sure, yeah. I want to look great at the pool. I don't want to do all those crunches, watch what I eat. I mean, just suck out the fat, style those abs. I'll be pool ready in no time at all.
You wouldn't do lipo. You work out too much.
Well, who knows? But this actually ties to the value story. So if you're really selling abs, not fitness, now follow me on this. Look at how much you could charge and people will pay it. We know they're paying it. Lipo is like $8,000, $10,000, okay? So now all I need to do is start putting those marks on my body and I'll be ready to go.
Well, while George is preparing for lipo, you can prep for your transition to value pricing. So figure out who you are and the true value that you deliver. Survey your customers. I know that it's really difficult to do. It's really scary, but do it. Survey your customers. I did, and it really, really helped. And write everything down and start to put a value on it.
Then I want you to develop two strategies to begin adjusting your prices to your value, not to cost or inflation or competition, because you're going to be better than all of that. I want you to create a marketing strategy that promotes your true value story. And this will take some thinking and planning. And then, and very importantly, I want you to develop a strategy to gently move your current customers or clients to your new pricing. We truly don't want to lose any of them. We know some are going to fall out, but they are your most precious treasure.
And for more practical ideas like this video and how to move toward the lifestyle that you really want, check out this video right here. And in the meantime, may you live truly free.